Stampers, I'm Nancy Novak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, this week I am making and sharing 3 milestone birthday cards, and I try to make milestone cards a little special. So first up, I'm going to make a fancy fold card using the Stippled Roses stamp set. This also comes with the dies, but today's card is so fancy I don't even need the dies for it. It's just really a pretty cool card. And I did first see this card by fellow demonstrator Susan Campfield, and then I put my own little stamp on it, little pun intended there. So let's get started. It's called a double layer stand-up card. Okay, so here it is. That's the front of it. And then it opens like this. You see another sentiment, another layer, and then it also opens like that. But what's cool about it is it stands up just like that, so you can display it. So it looks like that when it's on display. And that's the top view. But isn't that cool? But this is how you fold it to mail it. So let's bring in the supplies and get started. Okay, so the supplies are a piece of white cardstock that is 11 by 4 1/4. And then I have a base piece in white that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have 2 layered pieces. One's a little larger than the other. This one is 3 3/4 by 4, and this one is 3.5 by 3 3/4. Then I have 2 white pieces for the stamping. One is 3.5 by 3 3/4, and the other is 3 1/4 by 3.5. And then I have 2 pieces of designer series paper that are 3 3/4 by 4 inches. This is the designer series paper, the perennial lavender designer series paper. I get so confused with some of it's called perennial lavender, perennial postage, painted lavender. Anyway, I think you know what I mean. It's that really pretty designer series paper and all the pretty purple hues. I love it, love it, love it. And then I have a couple pieces of gold foil. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out a couple of elements with the gold foil, and I'm going to use the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder. So this is that folder that has the embossing folder, and it has a die that cuts out the words with a little bit of texture to it, or a little bit of dimension. So I cut out 2 pieces of gold foil, and the way this works is this is the Stampin' Up side. It's got the Stampin' Up logo, and then the die fits in there. You put the cutting side up, so it fits right in there. It's got a little groove. All the words fit right where they're supposed to go. And then I'm going to put my designer series paper over the word celebrate and over Oh Happy Day. And then I'm going to cut that out, and I'll be right back. I'm going to fast forward, so don't go anywhere. Okay, so there's our 2 cutouts in the gold foil. Oh Happy Day and Celebrate really looks, there you can kind of see the dimension on it. Really looks cool in person. So let's continue. Okay, I'm going to bring our base piece in and our 2 pieces of designer series paper, and I'm going to go ahead and glue those on each end with a little bit of a border. Just like that, really quick and easy. Next, we're going to do a little scoring. So I'm going to bring that 11-inch piece in and my scoreboard, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches, 3 3/4, 7 1/4, and 9. Remember, I have project sheets for all my projects, so I will have the sizes and the supplies and the colors I used and shopping links on my blog. Just look for the word project sheet in the description down below, or go right directly to my blog, stampinshout.blogspot.com. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, when you look at this, I'm going to fold the center pieces in towards the middle. So we got 1 score line, 2 score lines, 1 score line, 2 score lines. So I'm going to go 2 in and fold it in. Two score lines in, just fold it towards the center. Okay, and then I'm going to fold the first score line back. end up with something like that. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this piece back in, and this piece here is going to sit right in the middle of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the back, and then I'm going to put it on my base. I'm going to glue it, and you want to make sure that the bottom matches that both bottoms match, because that's going to be the base of your card, and that's going to help it stand up. And I'm just going to line it down here, and I'm going to make sure that the bottom edge matches. So there's a little border on each end. Kind of helps when you pull the two center pieces up rather than have them laying down. Just makes it easier to see. So you just center it right there. Okay, so far so good, right? See how it stands up? It's very cool, very cool. Okay, so now let's bring in these pieces. So you remember we have the two matte pieces and the two white pieces. One's a little larger than the other. The larger one's going to go in the front or on the left side of our card. The smaller one's going to go on the right, and that's going to end up being on the inside of our card. So let's do a little stamping. I'm going to use the large Stippled Rose stamp, and I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape ink. So when we place these on our cards, the positioning is going to be with the longer edge going up and down vertically. So this one here is 3 3/4, and this one is 3 1/2. So that's the long way going up. The shorter way is going across the bottom. So I'm going to ink my stamp up in the Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to stamp in the kind of the top left corner of this, because I want to put our Oh Happy Day sentiment right down there in the bottom right corner. So I have the big rose up at the top, the little rose down here, kind of on an angle. Just like that. Very, very pretty. And then this one I'm just going to use the same stamp. I'm not going to ink it up again. I'm going to stamp kind of in the middle of this one. So this one was supposed to be stamped off, which it was, but it's got a little bit of dark edges, which I don't want. So I'm going to redo that. So I'm going to have to ink my stamp up again. I'm going to stamp off on a scrap. Boy, that's pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this little inside piece. Just like that. Pretty, 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 pretty. Okay, so let's put our pieces together. So the easiest thing to do first is to go ahead and glue the white pieces to our matte pieces. But you know what? Before I go any further, I'm going to do a little stamping on the inside. So I'm going to do that right now. So in case I make a mistake, I don't waste too much paper. I should have done it even before I glued all this together. So on the inside, I'm going to stamp the smaller rose. And then I'm going to stamp Best Birthday Wishes. I'm doing this in Gorgeous Grape. Whew, no mistakes. Very good. And then that's going to go right there. And I think I will pop that up on a couple of dimensionals. Then on the inside one, I'm going to have Celebrate. And this milestone is number 35. And I'm just going to glue that down. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to attach the inside piece to this right flap, and it's going to go just like that, and it's going to have a little bit of a border around here, but we only want to put glue on this side right here, kind of butting it up right to that score line. but I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. That way I can see where I need to place my glue. Again, I use that score line to help guide where I want to put this one. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Now this one's going to be the opposite. So we want this one. We're going to glue the left side of this on the left side of the card. Same thing though, we only want to glue half of it, and it's going to have a border. This does not have a place to butt it up. If you butt it up to the score line, let me look. Yeah, you will not have a border if you butt it up to the score line. So you want to make sure it's over just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over, put it where I want it to be, and I can see where the score line is, where I do not want my glue to go past. I'm just going to lay that down with a little bit of a border. Let that glue set. Okay, so that's all glued down, but before I show it to you, let's add a couple of those purple gems. I love these purple gems. They're so, so pretty. Okay, now let's take a look. Oh, I love this. So pretty. So there's the front. And then you open it. You have an inside sentiment. And then we stamped another sentiment inside. And then it stands up like that. Isn't that cool? It's so pretty. I wish you could see it from the front. Well, anyways, it looks like this. And it's closed. You have the pretty purple designer series paper. Oh, happy day. Celebrate 35. Best birthday wishes. So I hope you like that. And if you're enjoying my videos and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications so you never miss an update from me. And I will be back again this week with another Milestone birthday card. So don't miss it. So be sure to come back. Until then, don't be shy. Stamp and shout.